I can tell you this. Most people, they don't read this thing, or they'll never be taught at school. Your normal world, it operates the same. The dark world and your normal world, they're intertwined. And some of us, we are told with you, if you start a company, you must have a minimum input, maximum output. It doesn't operate that way. There are some situations where people are taken out because they are competition. They are physically taken out. Like one day, I think it was a CEO of Hyundai, I can't remember, it was an Asian company, went to Botswana. I don't know, he came here, was kidnapped or killed. Some of these things, they don't happen by chance. And sometimes these guys, they hire hitmen which deal with these guys. Like we've seen now, Abo Ket, they were Abo henchmen, Abo Maumel. Sometimes there are certain deals. We want to buy in your company. We want to take over. Like taxes, there's a terrain war. This terrain war is not only Guma taxis, even in mining, even in pharmaceutical companies. I'll give an example. During COVID, there were financiers and globalists who were benefiting when the country was locked down. And they were making money on my retail, selling their products. There are those who are not benefiting. Sometimes they do clash amongst themselves. The mining industry, for starters, they say, no, we are opening by force. The airline industries, that's another cartel. Now they come into loggerheads. But what must they do? They must meet and make peace. Like the mafias, they see it with the boss of bosses from that side, the boss, and then they mediate. Sometimes they mediate. But these guys, they've got double henchmen, like Vita Poloto, La Castra Nostra, remove this guy. He's problematic. That's why we'll have Uban, this guy was killed. Was giving all these ANCs. Is it Brett Cable? Yeah, some of these guys, the dark world is, in line in the normal world. That's why I mentioned the mafias. The mafias, especially in America, the Italian mafias, they found Gucci when they came to America. I mean, this post-World War, Europe is devastated by wars. They're seeking greener pastures. And then they come to America. They find that people have already set up industries. They cannot come in. They flip the table. Then you must find the dark world. You must force your way in. Like Jacob Zuma did. When he came in, he found that Thabo Mbeki solidified deals ngabo BEE. Magathu angapha bathi there's Maxozoma. Magathu angapha bathi there's Tokyo. Magathu uthi where must I go? Then he kicked the door. The same way as we do Mazlalama dice. If you play the game of dice, those who don't have money, when everybody settle my dice in, there's money on the floor, I must cause kukurash. If you don't know, I say poisa. When everybody is confused in that stampede, I grab money. That's how the world operates. Because they will tell you, Uguti, use proper channels. If you don't have proper channels, and these cartels, they say go get the certificate. You don't have qualifications. They make it tough for you. That's why earlier on I spoke of industries. People group themselves. They say you cannot speak about God. You Catholic, go study for 7 years. But before you finish, they've already gone miles. They're ahead of you. And then when you come back, they say, okay, before you start your own thing, to have starting capital, you don't have. These guys are so other guys. They flip the script. That's why there are wars. And then people will tell you that the pen is mightier than the sword. That's why America has got war. They realize, you know what? If we apply fairness, we're not supposed to take Iraqi's oil. We're not supposed to take Gaddafi's oil, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, to use dollar as a currency. They force them to use the dollar. You're selling your oil in a dollar. They use force. They come in because if all things are equal, America will be at a disadvantage. So this world operate in that way. The one who doesn't have, he forces his way. If you don't use force, the lion will not eat. He will say, okay, but why must I kill the springbok? He was brought here by God. So people don't operate that way. And when you tell people, they'll say violence is bad. No, sometimes violence is good. There's good violence. There's good there's bad violence. They like crime. There's good crime, there's bad crime. Like we did crime during apartheid. We told people, as a Spinello Daki, we know our enemies. Because the channels have been closed. What more do I do? What more can I do if they close the channels? People flip the script and they come in. Yes.